Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video from the Thrift Store Prepper, and today is going to be another different video from what you regularly see on this channel. And as I say, we're trying to bring a little bit of different content every now and then. We don't want to keep it just opening beans in dehydrated potato packages and putting them into Ziploc Mylar bags. So today we're going to start another little project and another little build, and if you've clicked on the video already, then the title should have given you away. We're going to be building a Dollarama bug out bag. So as I said, I went out today. It's kind of a nice day in Toronto. The sun was shining. It was a pleasant 8 degrees, and after winter and -20 and -30 and -40 degrees even, then 8 degrees is very pleasant. So there were a lot of people out and about walking today, and I took a swift walk to the Dollarama and actually got the streetcar back. So I got a little bit of exercise, got a little bit of vitamin D from the sunshine, and started this product. So what I have to start with is actually, bear with me, I have two bags that I can choose from. Now, if you've seen the INTGTTB video that I made, the parody video about the I need to go to the bathroom bag, you may have seen this Swiss travel product bag which I used for there, which is a pretty cool bag, but I'm not going to possibly use it for this. I haven't decided yet. And the other one I have is a bum bag or a fanny pack that you kind of can see, and this was only like $7 or $8 from the flea market. It's kind of cool because you can actually throw it over your shoulder and wear it as a backpack. You can wear it on your front, or you can tuck it under your shoulder and kind of rest your arm on it and always hold it so it's never out of reach. So this is the bag I'm probably going to use for my Dollarama bug out bag, and it's going to be a little micro bag. It's not going to be anything too exciting, and it's more for fun than actually this is something that you need to depend on to save your life in a shit hit in the fan situation. It's just some stuff that I picked up at Dollarama, and reason being that at the Dollarama at this time of year, the winter stock is kind of disappeared, and they're replacing it with the spring stock. And some of the things they have among the spring stock is, in fact, camping gear or some basic kind of camping supplies or camping equipment. And I figured, you know what, rather than buying ramen and mashed potatoes and corned beef, which I was going to plan, and I had a little look up and down the aisles, I thought to myself, I have a couple of empty bags at home. Why not do the bug out bag video? Most prepper channels at some point will do the bug out bag. It's kind of part of the course and part of prepper protocol, excuse me, I should say, as something you should or shouldn't have. So I figured, why not put something together? And again, it's a little bit more for fun rather than actual dependency of survival. So it's got some pretty decent sized compartments. It's got one at the back there, which is the main compartment. It's got another one here, which I've got a piece of cigarette and some rolling papers in the bottom there. We'll toss those, we don't need them. This zip at the front here actually broke, so I kind of made sure that it's closed and sealed up, so we're not going to be able to use that. It has another little one here and another little one there, so there's plenty of compartments that we can use and utilize. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that aside for the minute, because we actually do have some things that I picked up at the Dollarama today that we're going to toss into this bag, and we're going to put it together on this video and try and figure out the best way to fit everything in. So let's get that to the side and let's have a little look at some of the shit that we got from the Dollarama, from the camping aisles. Now, I kind of spent probably more than I really wanted to already on this. It was going to be, like I say, just a little bit of a for fun project that I come up with while I was at the Dollarama, rather than go out of my way and buy the same old things and come and do a Dollarama top up. So there's not going to be any top up videos this week. We're just going to be concentrating on this little bug out bag, and this might be a long video, it might not, I don't know. We'll see how it goes and see what happens as we unravel it. As you know, we don't really have much of a plan, much of a clue, and very little expertise in anything other than what we do, and I don't even think we can classify that as expertise. So here we go. Let's stop rambling and getting sidetracked and see what we've picked up in our Dollarama bag. So I've got 3 bags going here, and the first thing I've got is a plastic matchbox, and I think it has a little strike on the bottom there, but no matches. So we're going to rip the package open, and we're going to get everything out and put it out on the table here and see what we picked up in the mass of everything. I don't even know how much I spent now, because I did actually buy a few other things. So here we go. We've got a waterproof match container that cost $1, and as I said, it's not very exciting. It just has a little thing on the bottom there, and as it happens, they didn't have matches at the Dollarama. They sold out. I asked the lady, she pointed me to the aisle, and the section was empty. So that's the first thing that we got. What else do we have? Seeing as we're talking with matches, something they always say that you should have are some fire lighters. So here we go. We've got some fire starters, some twisted fire starters. They're actually not twisted fire starters, they're sawdust and wax fire starters, and there's a 12-piece, and they come in at $1.25, and they suggest you can use them for barbecues. I don't remember what those things are called, but those things you have in your garden that you put fires in, an actual fire or fireplaces. So there's 12 pieces there. If we had matches, we could start a fire. So already we've got a little bit of failure going on with our bug out bag, because we don't have a way of starting our fire, but we may do as we progress in the unbagging. So let's put the fire starters there. And I think somewhere there's some more fire starters, but I can't find them now. We're just going to get things out as we go along. Next item is a cutting wire. So we might actually, let's just open it up, see what's in there. You know, it's all going to be taken out and gone in the bag. So there you go. We're not going to unravel it too much. We've got a little cutting tool there. So I guess, you know, if we needed to cut down a little tree or something, maybe, you know, decapitate someone, you probably could get through a neck and bone with that eventually in slow agonizing pain. But I don't suggest anyone should try that unless, you know, we're in a Mad Max kind of scenario. So there's a little cutting tool. It costs $2. I'm really not sure it would be that effective, and would probably fall to pieces before you cut down one tree. But it was just a little thing that they had there that I thought would be handy to have in a bug out bag. So some other things that I got, if we can open here, is a little poncho, and again this was $1.25, and it's very lightweight, a one-use kind of thing, but it has a little bag of its own, and it's kind of, I guess, like a very, oh, did you see that? We had a little bit of flicker in our lighting source there, and another one. And look, patting the table makes it work. So let's try not to rumble and vibrate the thing. So there you go. I don't really need to explain a poncho. You can use that to keep yourself dry in a storm if it's raining, and put over the top of your regular clothes and keep the rain off. And unlike an umbrella, you don't have to use your arms. So that's another thing we've got to put in our bug out bag. And some other things I picked up. I don't know why I find these little space blankets so cool, but I picked up 4 of those just because I kind of like them, and they're fun to squish. And if you're a fan of the TV show Better Call Saul, then space blankets. That's all I'm going to say. Another thing I got is some tarp clips. They clip tarps, and I'm sure we could utilize those in many other ways if we needed to. So they were $1.50, and there's 4 of them. They're pretty heavy duty by the looks of things. We've got some tarp clips. What else? There's another space blankets. We've got 4 space blankets. Obviously, you know, if it gets cold up here in Canada, 4 space blankets is going to be better than 1, although I don't know how protected you would be when it hits like -30, -40 overnight, but it's better than not having 4 space blankets. So we got some outdoor rope, and this was $1.50, and there's 15 meters, so you can make yourself a little tent or make yourself a noose or traps or whatever you do with rope. Or maybe you like to tie yourself up and give yourself friction burns if you're into fetish S&M type stuff. I don't know. So this is almost the end of the first bag. And the other thing is some tent pipes, and this might be giving away what we have in one of the other bags, but good jabbing devices if you needed to. If there were ever a zombie apocalypse, then you know, perhaps one of these would go through bone and skull to penetrate the brain, to get rid of them. Or it could possibly work on the living too, who knows, but I'm not suggesting you could. But again, you know, in a bug out bag, if you did need some form of weaponry, if it was that kind of scenario that was going on, then we got some tent spikes. So let's have a look. We've got another bag somewhere. Yes, we do. So the next bag I got was, I was hoping they'd have a little kind of first aid kit. I have seen them before in the Dollarama. They kind of have a few band-aids and a couple of bandages and shit. So they didn't actually have one at the moment. Maybe closer to the summertime we'll start seeing some of those coming. And as I said, it really was kind of the first wave of summer items that are making their way into the store as Easter approaches. So we got some sports tape that can tape stuff up. There's 6 meters of it there. So if you get yourself a little bit of a scratch, you can probably tape it up with the tape or do other stuff with it if you're pretty medical. I'm not sure if you are. Not necessarily a medical item, but they could be used. The magic towels, you just add water and they expand magically, and they're compressed, and there's 8 of them there, so you could maybe use one of these to kind of soak up any blood or stick in any open wounds to stop it bleeding, and wrap it up with a bit of tape. So it's not really going to be anything you're going to be able to perform surgery or mend broken limbs with. It really is just a basic few boo-boo kind of scratches and scrapes type of kit, but you know, hey, it's better to have something than nothing. We got some band-aids, or in this case Medicare adhesive bandage, because Band-Aid is actually a brand name and not the name of the sterile adhesive bandages. So they were $1.25 for 60, and you get quite a few sizes in there, so self-explanatory. Band-Aid or Medicares. I did get also some rubbing alcohol. Really doesn't need any explanation, and this little box of travel wipes, which I'm not sure if they are for your car or for cleaning your body, but I'm guessing the body because it's got aloe and vitamin E in there. So you can use these to wash your hands or give yourself a little bit of a towel shower if you're a little bit dirty and smelly or whatever. You can use your towel wipes to clean up a little bit. And oh, we've got some gauze. That was the other item we had. We've got some gauze, and somewhere we do also have, I think, some hot peroxide somewhere, maybe. I'm not sure. I think I did get one. Maybe I didn't. So what I did get was some of these hand cleansers. There's 2 of those. So let's get these out. And again, we can use these not only to cleanse our hands or give ourselves a little bit of a hand sanitizer shower. We can use these as a fire starter as well. I believe we might experiment with them, or we might not, because I'm indoors and I don't need any more arson charges. So there's another little thing that we got there, some hand sanitizer, a very handy thing to have. This looked pretty cool. It's a camping shovel. I'm sure it's of very poor quality and wouldn't be exactly that reliable, but if you needed to build yourself a little campfire or a little pit to shit in, then I'm sure this would do just the job. Or I don't think you're going to be able to be digging any ditches to bury anybody in with it, but actually it's pretty solid, and it was only $4. You've got a little spiky thing on the top there, and you've got a little shovel and a kind of saw, and I guess that would be a bottle opener, and knocking things over, you would screw this in there. And actually, do you know what, this is pretty damn good for $4. I might go and dig a hole out in the backyard just to see how good it is, and maybe make a video of it. So I don't know if it extends any more than that. it looks as though it might or might not, but there you go. You can kind of see that there. Maybe this is what you use to keep it in place. But let's not get too carried away with figuring out how this works. It's pretty damn solid. I'm quite impressed with that. As I say, we don't know how good it would be, but it comes with its own little pouch here, look, and slides in really nicely. So there you go. That's a pretty cool thing, and it's got its own little camo bag there, so if you drop it in the woods you won't be able to find it. Okay, so what else we got? Now this was another pretty cool thing that I picked up, and this was $4, and this was the only one that they had, and it was kind of on the floor, hidden under the shelf. It caught my eye and I managed to scrape it out. So it's a little folding camping knife, and it's got some pretty cool decals on the side, so are probably not very sharp knives. Let's try and open it up. If we had the knife, we could have used it to get through the packaging. So it's not a bad little knife. It's stainless steel, I believe, and yeah, that would barely cut butter, but I might take that to work with me and put it on the steel and give it a little sharpen. Let's try and figure out how it works. Somehow there's got to be a locking device, I think, maybe there, but we'll figure it out. Maybe there's instructions on the box. Actually, no, there are no instructions. There you go. You've got to kind of figure it out for yourself. So we're going to put that on just so we don't have any mishaps. If you are a member of the Facebook group, you may have seen my self-surgery video, live video that I made. So I'm trying to figure this out somehow, how you can... there we are. We got it done. So there's our little knife. We figured that out. It didn't beat us. But yeah, I did do a self-surgery video where I had a bit of a mishap at work and chopped my finger off. If you want to know, it's actually grown back quite nicely, although there is a little bit of indentation if you get the right angle. But never mind, we're not talking about my finger. We're talking about the little bug out bag. So something else we picked up here is a survival candle that burns for 16 hours. So we're going to take that out of the box, and there you go. Not much we can say about that. It's a candle that burns for 16 hours, and it's got its own little tin container. So there you go. There's another item that we picked up today, and we're getting near the end of this, and I think there's only 2 items left. So the other item was an emergency camping shelter. Now this is a little tent, and it costs $2.50, and it's 8 foot long, and it comes with 6 meters of cord so that you can tie it up, and it's very, very basic. I'm pretty sure that it's just like a very, very large space blanket, and it does have that silver mylar kind of look to it. I'm not going to open it up. We're going to keep it in the bag until we need it, or never ever need it. But for $2.50 we got ourselves a pretty sensible looking shelter, and at the worst case scenario you could maybe just wrap yourself up in it and lie under a bush if you needed to, rather than try to erect a tent in the wind. And I'm not sure, I've looked in there, the cord looks very, very thin, and possibly not very, very strong. So that's why we've got this little bit of rope, and we've got some tent things here that can help you out, and those tarp clips. So we've got a little tent, some tent pegs that can multiple up as weapons. We've got a little knife. We've got a little shovel thing, and a survival candle. What else do we have here? Some more fire starters. These are fire starter sticks, and there's 12 of them, and they burn for 6 minutes apparently. So there you go. You can burn one of these and you can have a little fire for 6 minutes. You could probably put a couple of those down and just make a little fire of those if you needed to. Just make a little small quick heat source. You could snap a couple of half and make a little mini fire that would burn for only 6 minutes. So there you go, and they're in a pretty decent bag that we can reuse. It's Ziploc resealable, and you know how much we like those. And the other item I got was a little flashlight, and that's kind of bright. It's got 9 LED lights in there. Let's use the knife. Why didn't I think? Oh no, I've got to figure out how this fucker opens. Maybe we won't use the knife. Maybe this isn't the best knife in the box, but it was, yeah, alright, there we go. That was a lot easier than using the knife. So we're going to have to figure out how the knife works a little bit better, but not right at the now. What else did we do? Oh, here we go. There was another cool thing I picked up, and this is a foldable washing bowl. So let's get rid of that, and you know what? We don't need this either, so break the Kimball tag off, and we've got a little foldable bowl, and it comes in a cool little pouch like this. And I don't know if it's going to be one of those things that once you unfold you can't refold it, but let's see. So there it is. It rolls up like this, and there you go. You've got a little bowl that you can wash up in or wash yourself with. So let's try and roll that back up. Should we open it up? There we go. I keep saying there we go. If you're playing along with the drinking game that I invented a little while ago, I'm pretty sure no one's playing the drinking game, but in case somebody is, you're probably getting quite drunk by now. So looking inside, there's our little foldable wash bowl, and let's see if we can fold it up and get it back in the pouch. I think we might be good with this. Yes, we will. So that's everything, and I'm sure I did have another spray that I bought, but I can't seem to find it. I double checked all the bags to make sure everything's empty, and yes, it is. So let's zoom out a little bit, and you can see everything that we have there for the Dollarama, and I'm not sure how much it come to. I think it was about $50 or something like that. As I said, I did have a few other items, so I wasn't really keeping tabs, and I didn't really set myself a limit. I just bought stuff that was at the Dollarama. So now we had that. As I said, we had the dilemma about what bag to choose, and I've seemed to have lost it already. Where did I put it? Oh, it's this side. There we go. I found it. So putting stuff inside the bag. So what we might have to do as well is downsize some of these items. So let's get everything out of the way for now. Make some space, and where do we go from here? So we're going to put the matchbox to the side because we don't have matches at the minute. There was a lighter. That was something I had. A lighter. And now it's disappeared. I did buy a lighter, but I guess it either fell out of the bag or it's on the floor somewhere, or maybe I left it on the counter at the... But I've just found $1, so that's a bonus. There we go. $1 I found on the floor that I dropped, but not the lighter that I bought at the Dollarama for $1.25. So I'm still 25 cents down. Never mind. So what was I saying? Putting stuff in the bag. So some of these items we're gonna try and make smaller items. So the first thing I'm gonna address is a first aid kit. So maybe we're gonna get this marijuana bag, and that will be our first aid kit bag. And there is actually some remnants of marijuana still in there. Sorry about that. But we're going to try and put everything together to fit in this bag. And I could pause the video, but we're not. We're going to go through this together to see if we can make a super long video that nobody watches, or people might start cutting their wrists, but not with this knife because we can't open it. So let's build our little first aid kit. So obviously we're not going to keep this in there. That's going to be far too bulky. But we might just keep it like that, and that keeps it sealed and sterile. So will it even fit in the bag is the other thing. Yep, it does. So we've got that in there. Can we fit our gauze in is the next question that you will raise. And possibly we can. So there we have our gauze and our sports tape. So what else are we going to put in? Maybe we'll put in one of these. Actually, before we put in one of those, let's throw in some bandages. So we're going to toss all of those in. There's 60 of them. We might as well throw the whole lot in rather than just a few, and they fit in quite nicely. And this was not entirely planned, but is turning out to be working wonderfully. Everything's fitting in, everything's coming up Millhouse. Right, so let's put in our little oh, this might be a little bit of a squeeze. Maybe we need to go that way and tuck that down there. I think we can get it in one way or another. The other thing I did want to get in were these little towels. So we'll unwrap those. Where did the garbage can go? I'm really pissed about the lighter because it was a cool lighter with a proddy thing on the end and one of those things like the not the regular type of lighters, the kind of wind resistant. That's the word I can think of. My word, wind resistant. So let's see if we can fit those in. I think we can. I did have some scissors somewhere. If only there we have them. I stopped myself from saying there you go. So sorry, I don't know why I've got stuck in there. Looks like fortune cookie wrapper. So problem solved. We've got our two little towelettes, and does this give us any room for the hand sanitizer? I'm not sure it will. No, it's going to be a squeeze now. That is a shame, unless we're not going to be defeated here, people. We're not going to be defeated. Everything else was going in nicely until we tried to get those. So I think we can kind of fit that down the side there. Maybe a little bit of pressure. And a little bit of forcefulness, we can jam it right in. And please behave if you found any innuendo in that. So we've got our one thing in there of hand sanitizer, and we can now fit the other two of these. Let's toss that band-aid at the back, and hopefully we'll be able to seal this all up, and our first aid kit will be complete. Yes, success, it's all in there. Let's wash down the bandages. So, as we said before, this isn't the best survival kit you're ever going to buy, and it's probably going to not do much other than clean up a couple of scrapes and scratches and maybe a grazed knee. So, if you get attacked by a bear and you've lost a limb, you're pretty much fucked. So let's see where we should put the medical device. Maybe we should put those in a little compartment of their own. Do they fit in there? And look, they do. So that little pouch there is designated to first aid, multi-purpose bags. So what should we do next? Let's try and get our shelter stuff in the big package at the back. So you know what we can do here? The combat poncho can go in the front. And maybe we can tuck the flashlight in there if there's room. Is there room to get it in sideways? Again, behave yourself if you're seeing any innuendo in that, we'll just tuck it down the side. That may or may not work. We don't want to crush our poncho, is why we're having some difficulties here, I believe. And there we have it. It's gone in nicely in the bottom there. So we've got our poncho, we've got our flashlight, and you know what we should put in there as well, as soon as we've got the flashlight and it's about the same size, our matches. And the other thing we can maybe toss in there is perfect. Everything fit in there nicely. Okay, so we've used 2 compartments. We have this one here, which maybe we can get the rope. Yeah, the rope fits in there. Let's take these out of the cardboard. And I did have something kind of holding them together that's fallen to pieces now, but never a fear. I've got a little rubber band there. So actually maybe let's put those in the bottom. It'll make it a bit more rigid. Again, bottom and rigid, behave yourself if you have that kind of mindset. So that's gone in there pretty damn well. Look, everything's kind of fit in nicely in place with not too much effort. There you go. I'm having difficulties thinking and concentrating on the next move. So the next thing we're going to do, maybe toss these clip things in there, and that's giving us rope and cordage and attachment type things. So that's pretty good, and we've even got a little bit of space left over there if we need it for something else. So you know what I might do is, as we've got this here and we've got our little cutting tool, let's see if we can fit the 2. We can, so that means that's not going to get lost, and this one's going to go into the back passage, not the back passage, the backpack compartment. I'm starting to think weird things now just by never mind, let's concentrate on the Dollarama bug out bag. So that fits in there pretty decently. What we might have some difficulty with, I think, could be, and the candle goes in there nicely. Try and utilize as much of the space as we can. So what we might not be able to fit in are the travel wipes, but never say never, because I think if we force it, it may go in there. Maybe, baby, if we put them in first, that's probably what we should have done. That kind of works. Maybe tuck that in like that. Our fire lighters can fit in there. Let's see if we can fit the alcohol in there. We can. This is coming along. Uh-oh. The mini log fire we might have difficulty with. So you know what? I think the wet wipes are going to have to be something we might have to consider removing from this, unless we can come up with some better storage ways. Problem solving as we go along. So I'm not sure that's going to go that way, but it could go that way. Alright, you know. Let's put those down in the bottom. Let's get our candle in. Let's get the other fire starters in the bottom. That's smart. Now we do have some space left for our little tool. I think we can force that in the opposite direction. And we've had a little bit of a breakage on the zip there. Let's try again. That's not a good start for our bug out bag. So we've still got the blankets in the tent to put in, so that's going to be something we're going to have to definitely reconsider. Let's look and take some of this stuff out and see if we can reposition this better. So let's put our tent in first. There we are at the bottom, the tent, and we might have to lose one of the fire starters. I'm not sure which one we should lose. What we could do alternatively is take everything out and see if it fits in the other bag. And I didn't even realize I knocked the camera there. Sorry about that, but we're going to get back onto the bug out bag. So maybe we should look at the other bag as an option at this point, because we're already struggling on items to go in. So no further ado, let's take everything out and start again with the other bag, which is a shame because I kind of like this one. It was pretty cool, but I think we might be better off with, and I think we've had a little bit of a, that's what happened, the alcohol come loose, so we've got wetness going on. So after we jammed all these things in, we're taking them all out and we're going to start again with a different bag altogether. Maybe I should have thought about this before we began, but hopefully, you know, this is the learning curve between. So it started off also well with the first aid kit, and as we got to the final stage, everything fell to pieces. So recalculating, let's go and use this bag. Now already I can see a first utility item. This at the back can fit our tent, and that's tucked in there out of the way. Let's actually turn it the other way around. Perfect. Now we have quite a few compartments going on. So again, we have this little front one, but let's try and get the main one first. So let's put in our ropes at the bottom and our spikes at the bottom. We've got our tent in the back. We've got our little digging tool, and everything is kind of fitting in here so much more easier. We've got our first aid kit. We can slide. I'm very sorry about that. We had a little mishap with the camera. So let's move this to the back here. Everything, I think, is going to be a better fit in here. So we've got our fire starters. We may put those in the back, actually. And can we get those down to the bottom? Yes, we can. And that should be able to get those in the back there. Yes, they did. So that's kind of cool. The other thing we can do is stuff these little things in there. The tarp clips. Actually, no, I'm going to take those out quickly, because what could fit in there nicely, and I know exactly where they can go. I'm sure there's a fourth. There we are. We'll put our wet wipes in there. So I think so far everything's fit in there that we need to, and maybe even get the candle. Right, so we put the candle in there and zip up that main compartment. Alrighty, so we have the knife, can go in there, and flashlight can go maybe in here, and because that's so full there's not much space. We'll make sure we haven't turned it on, and that's exactly what I did. And we'll also put in our matches in there, and hopefully that will be able to close. Yep, there is a little bit space in there, but we don't want to wedge too many things in there. Now there is also a compartment there. Now I'm not sure if the tent, because it fits so nicely and snug in the back there, we're going to leave it rather than try to squish it in here. So that's pretty stuffed to capacity. Wait, what we could stuff in here are our emergency blankets perhaps. And you know what? We can stuff our emergency blankets. There's one. Two. Three. And four. And why didn't we go with this bag at the start? I don't know. But we've filled up the main compartment and our front compartment. We've got our flashlight, which is kind of I just had a much better idea for the flashlight. We have this little dangle thing here. We can clip it on the side. Perfect. And then if need be, just tuck it under there for use when and as needed. Or the other thing we could do is come in underneath and put it there. Excellent. And then we don't even need to take it off of the bag. So this is turning out to be much of a better idea than the last one. So what else do we have to go in here? Well, the good old travel wipes, which caused the problem in the last one, and the poncho. So maybe the poncho will fit in there. I'm almost certain it will. Let's zip it back up. Okay, poncho's in there. We're going to keep that out. Let's put the poncho long ways. Do the zip up. Flashlight underneath in there. So we've got this space at the back that we can utilize. Oh, there were the socks I had that I meant to use in the I'm going to the bathroom video. They were going to be a backup wipage item, but never mind. Now this is perfect. We've got a little bag down here. Now no, the wet wipes won't go in the bag. So in the bag, the travel gel and the rubbing alcohol. And sorry if I've been moving the video, it wasn't my intention. I didn't even realize I'd done it. So let's make sure that's nice and tight now. You can drink that if you need to, as we've already said. So we'll put that in there with that. These clips can go in here. And that's almost perfect. We've got a little compartment there that we can maybe put our waterproof match box in that has no matches, and yep, it fits in there. And the last item, if we can, oh my goodness, would you look at that, almost perfect purposely built. And there is another little compartment there that we won't be utilizing now. And oh, the bowl, we forgot let's try and squeeze that in the front. Okay, hold on. Everything's gone in there. Now if we can only just get it up, get it zipped up. My goodness, anyone who does have innuendo will be having a field day with this. And yeah, this is going to be fun and games, I'm sure, trying to zip this up. As you can see, it's a little bit tight, and it's one of those things that kind of, once you get it around the horn, it should go easily, and we're not quite round the horn yet. There we are, that's a little bit round the horn. And okay, round the North Pole. So what was once I need to go to the bathroom bag is actually turned into our Dollarama bug out bag. And if I can manage to get it to the very, very end, although I don't think we really need to, that little piece there isn't going to cause too many problems. And can I fit in the bowl somewhere? The little bowl, I mean, we could just hang it on the side if we needed to, but let's see if maybe we can just squash it. So our space blankets are squashed there. And can we maybe just fit the bowl in the top? You know what, I think we might just be able to. By Jove, if we can do this up, it couldn't have been more of a perfect option. I think we will be able to do it up. It's just going to need a little bit of coaxing and squishing. So I don't know if this is going to get many likes or much credibility, but he said it's a little fun project. It's kept me occupied and out of trouble for the last however long we've been making this video, 47 minutes. So possibly the longest video we've done to date, and I'm nearly there. Let's hope and pray we never have to get any of this stuff out, because we could probably never get it all back in. Squash, 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 squash. Nearly there, nearly there. And that's nearly enough. So we rebagged it and bagged it again. I think we finally got there. Don't forget to tuck our flashlight in the back. And there you have it. Oh, let's just leave the flashlight like that. Who cares at this point? We've probably lost every viewer and subscriber we've ever had. But there you go. If you have been watching from the start, and we are getting up to 50 minutes now, everything we got from the Dollarama did eventually fit into the bag we used in the end. We failed miserably on the first attempt with the first bag, so I'm just going to try, and that's what I was trying to do. So we've got our little flashlight there, we've got our Dollarama bug out bag, we've got a tent, we've got some ropes, we've got some basic first aid, some basic shower, a poncho, wet wipes, and some very basic items in there that may or may not help you concoct some kind of shower. As I say, I don't really think this is the best survival kit in the world. It certainly probably isn't going to save many lives. It was just a fun little project and a little thing I thought I'd throw together just to try something new with the channel and see how we got on. Now, I know we've had a lot of camera shakes and a lot of bouncing around in this video. My apologies for that. Stuff happens at the thrift store prepper, and with that being said, maybe you liked this video, maybe you didn't, but it's been a shit video production for the thrift store prepper.